Hey guys, Super Godzilla Final Wars here, and today I am going to be discussing a little problem that we kinda have. Now, if you guys don't remember, for Monarch Legacy of Monsters, or if you have not watched it, go watch it. It is a good series. Definitely better than the Skull Island anime, I would say that. It's definitely way better than that series. But there's just one problem. And no, it's not the human characters. Not all the human characters in that series were god-awful. Some of them were really good and likable. But the thing is, where the hell is frickin' Muto Prime? Now, if you don't know, Muto Prime plays a very big role. He's a very big deal in the Monsterverse, because in the Monsterverse, he's kind of the reason why Godzilla's dorsal spines look like the 2019/2021 spines. And yet, he's not even in the series. No, he's not even mentioned or even shown on screen, even for like a second. Monarch Legacy of Monsters clearly, it's rather the writers or the directors of the series, one did not knew about Godzilla Aftershock, or they did not want to include the events that happened in Aftershock. And this is not the first time, folks. This is not even the first time. Because if we look back at Godzilla Awakening, Shiramiro and Godzilla were awakened due to the atomic bombing. And yet, Shiramiro was never mentioned or shown on screen in the whole series. Instead, Godzilla was literally active in the show for practical no reasons. He had no reason to be active in that show. The only reason why he would be active is if there was another kaiju. We could say he was going after radiation because he woke up and he's like really hungry. That is kind of understandable, but at the same time, not really, because Godzilla Awakening showed Godzilla flat out targeting Shiramiro. Shiramiro was like literally being hunted down by Godzilla. This is like the biggest problem that I have with Legacy of Monsters. It's that it doesn't include any of the events that happened in Godzilla Awakening and Godzilla Aftershock. The show should have, one, show those events, or two, at least mentioned the events that happened in these comic books. But instead, they didn't. Both Muto Prime and Shiramiro were kept out of Legacy of Monsters for reasons unknown. Most people could say that the writers or the directors of Legacy of Monsters didn't read the comic books or didn't even know they existed and decided to go their own path to create their own little timeline. if they didn't know about the book, or rather forgot about it, I guess it's fine, but wouldn't Legendary Studios rather just tell them, say, hey, these events like Godzilla Awakening and Godzilla Aftershock happened before the events of 2014 took place? Actually, it's not just Legacy of Monsters that has this problem, because it's actually the movies also share this problem, because Godzilla 2014 did not mention Shiramiro. Bro. In fact, they just showed Godzilla being active and just blowing up an island. Because of, well, them trying to kill Godzilla. And even Kong Skull Island said they weren't trying to kill two creatures, they were only trying to kill one. And that one being the G-Man. I would have forgiven in the movies if Legacy of Monsters at least confirmed that the events that happened in Godzilla Awakening and Godzilla Aftershock happened. Hell, when Legacy of Monsters was first announced, all the way back in rather 2021 or 2022, I forgot when it was announced. I'm assuming it was announced back in 2021, kind of after the event, like kind of after the movie Godzilla vs. Kong came out. But we were all under the impression that this would take place right after the events of 2014, which it did, but not in the way that we were hoping it would. Because in the way that we were hoping it would show the epic battle between Godzilla and Muto Prime. Fans wanted to see a live-action version of Muto Prime. And hopefully, I don't know, get actual figures besides just custom-made figures. Because custom-made figures are just kind of hard to find online and kind of hard to buy if you even look at the right place, honestly. Like, I was really hoping that we would follow a cast of characters who would follow Godzilla, or at the very least, kind of end up in the same places where he's at, fighting Muto Prime and all these other monsters. That would be amazing. And I don't think I was the only one who was under the impression about Godzilla, like human characters kind of rather, one, following Godzilla or ending up in the same place as him. And seeing his battle with Muto Prime and all these other monsters that are awakening because of Prime, I would have liked the show even more. Just showed Godzilla, but instead, we were not given that show. Don't get me wrong, again, there are great stories in each episode. It's just some human characters it just didn't work out for me, honestly. It was mostly the present day main characters. The 1950s characters, I had no problem with. They were alright. They were perfect. Why not make them the main characters and make the present day characters more like side characters? Instead, in the main timeline, like the present day, the 1950s characters act more like side characters, honestly, and I didn't like that at all. Again, I would have loved this series way more if at least Godzilla Awakening and Godzilla Aftershock were mentioned. But instead, they're not. And we are very close to the reality about the comic books not even being canon to the main timeline of the movies. Which just makes me upset, folks. It makes me upset because you got like these monsters and these events that happened way before the movies take place, and they're not even mentioning them, let alone showing them on screen. If Monarch Legacy of Monsters keeps this up with the second season, most likely we're not going to see Camisards in the second season, because most people have a theory that the second season now is going to revolve around Kong being like the main monster that the series will follow. And if this is true, most likely Camisards will also suffer the same fate that Muto Prime and Shiramiro are currently suffering in. Although I think Camisards was kind of suffering, but just not as much as Muto Prime and Shiramiro, because, well, the reason why I say this is because in Godzilla vs. Kong, none of the characters mentioned Camisards or the battle between Kong and Camisards, and Camisards being the reason why the storm on Skull Island got worse. Because he kind of brought the storm that Ghidorah was controlling onto Skull Island, which practically forced Kong to leave the island and go find a new territory, which ended up having him meet Godzilla for the first time. This is just the biggest problem I have with Legacy of Monsters. That is, it's not even mentioning or at very least showing the events of Godzilla Aftershock or Godzilla Awakening. And if this keeps up, most likely Kingdom Kong will suffer the same fate. So, that's just my biggest problem with the series. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys agree that this is your big problem with the series, or do you have another problem that you have with the series? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And tell me, do you still have hope that Muto Prime and Shiramiro can be a part of the Monsterverse? Just not in the way that we're going to be thinking? Just let me know in the comments below. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day, and peace out.